My childhood, it was abuse. If I could sum it up in one word, mental, emotional, spiritual, psychological, sexual abuse.
Anisha Freeman had an absent father and a mother with paranoid schizophrenia.
I started developing a belief system that compared to other people, there was something wrong with me.
Because of her mental illness, Anisha's mother forced her children to read the Bible and pray on their knees for hours on end.
I had a personal relationship with God, but it was distorted. I had asked God to come into my heart when I was like 7 or 8, and I told my mom, and I was so happy, but she she was a religious fanatic, and she operated out of a legalistic concept of God. It was a conditional relationship. I had to be perfect. By the time I became an adolescent, I was like, dude, why try?
By high school, Anisha found solace in drugs and alcohol. Her grades dropped as she looked for a way to pay for her addictions.
When I was 13, I looked like I was 21 or 22. I resembled an adult woman. I didn't really think I was prostituting then. I didn't think that's what it was, but that's what it was. I was exchanging sexual services for drugs and alcohol.
Anisha ran from her home life after her high school graduation.
I was living in Chicago when the addiction kicked into high gear. I had been smoking marijuana, drinking alcohol, occasionally snorting cocaine, but it only lasted for 3 minutes. And it cost $25 to feel like that for 3 minutes. I stopped paying bills, all of my money started going to cocaine. The addiction got so bad till I went back to Detroit, and that's when I got introduced to the crack cocaine subculture. And I started hanging out in crack houses.
She stayed on the streets for 12 years, the victim of physical beatings and rapes.
I could see evil. I met evil there. I mean, I knew evil existed, but in those crack dens, I saw evil on an entirely different light. There are so many times when I have had pistols to my head, literally, pistols to my head, or somebody who had their hands around my throat choking me. That goes along with prostituting and being in crack houses and owing dope boys money. Oh, I felt convicted. I knew what I was doing. Some of the things I were engaging in was an abomination to God. I knew that, you know, but the drugs, I had to have the drugs.
Anisha couldn't handle her life of addiction anymore. She went outside to the nearest bus stop.
But I had no plans to get on a bus. I was going to commit suicide. I was timing my leap into the street. I was just real resigned in my spirit. I had made up my mind, I can't live like this anymore. And a man was walking behind me, and he stopped. I didn't see him until he said something. That's what made me turn around and look at him. He said, "Don't you dare." And I turned around, he said, "Don't you dare give up." And I believe that man was an angel. I don't know if he was or if he just somebody God used right then and that point, because I was getting ready to leave here. And I'm like, wow, you mean like there's a God up there that cares whether or not a prostitute, crack addict is getting ready to take her life?
Shortly after that day at the bus stop, Anisha made the decision to let God change her life.
I was walking away from a crack motel, and I heard God in my spirit. It wasn't an audible voice. It was deep in my spirit. I heard God say, "Choose you this day who you will serve." And it's like not only had he showed me himself, he had showed me Satan's kingdom uncut and raw. And I knew right then in my spirit that if I didn't leave at that particular moment, I would die there. And that was August the 7th of the year 2000, and I have not used another drug, any type of mood-altering, mind-altering substance, including alcohol. I have used nothing since that day.
Anisha started going to church and completed several addiction programs.
The cross means so much to me. It means that I have access now. He let me know, I love you. Even though you're sin, and I don't love your sin, but I love you. And he saved me, and he's given me a life that is beyond anything I could have imagined.
In the last 10 years, Anisha has completed 3 degrees, including an MBA. Today, she's a certified addictions counselor and has developed a citywide program to help prostitutes get off the streets.
I would say that if you think you're too far, that is a lie straight from the pit of hell. No matter what you've done, God can turn your life around. And He's not going to just turn it around a little bit. He can turn it all around till you don't even recognize your life.